Hi, hello and welcome. Let's talk about content. And more importantly, let's talk about thinking about content differently. Because when you think about it in a different way, you do things differently. Differently to your peers, differently to your competitors, and differently in the eyes of your clients and customers. Which means you stand out from the crowd and you make people remember you. So today we're going to talk about days of content. So let's do this. We've all seen the posts, right? It's National Secretary Day. Let's say thanks to all the secretaries in the world. Today's National Cheese Day. What's your favourite cheese? To celebrate World Barbecue Day, we're having a barbecue. What would you put on it? Historically, they've been a lazy way to create engagement. They're greatly loved by social media managers and a lot of copywriters alike. But they're shit. They're shit for so many reasons. Lots of people are doing them, so you don't stand out, you look like a sheep. Most of them aren't related to business, so you look like a bit of an idiot when you try. And most people reading them just don't care. They're empty, meaningless filler. Like the bits in between the bits you really want to know about on your favourite TV show. And they don't generate business. No one's going to think about your business when they need a copywriter or a translator or a coach or a trainer just because you remembered it was National Guinea Pig Day 3 years in a row. But that's how most people use them. They use them literally. The business that posts once at the beginning of Black History Month, yet never mentions the BAME community the other 11. The company that brings in donuts for an Instagram post on National Donut Day, but treats their staff like shit every other day of the year. Or the freelancer, and we all know this freelancer, who fills their social media feed with cutesy little images saying which weird day it is today, but you're not even really sure what they do. So don't do that. Don't get me wrong, if you're a pet shop or a donut shop, then celebrating guinea pig or donut day makes sense, in a literal kind of way. For the record, there's a copywriter's day, a trainer's day, a translator's day, pretty sure there's a graphic design day, as well as loads of days for other industry. But literal is too easy. You're not here for literal, are you? So let's think differently. These are some of the days of for today and one for tomorrow. I use 2 websites to find these, but a simple search on the search engine of your choice will throw up loads of websites dedicated to national and international days off. So let's go through these as quickly as possible. There's a transcript below in case you miss anything. Today is apparently National Corned Beef Hash Day. I threw a blank at that, if I'm honest, but put it in because I like corned beef hash and I liked the picture. I guess if you're a shop selling corned beef, you could go about it literally. But let's look at some of the others and see what content ideas we can come up with in about 5 minutes. The National Day of Forgiveness. Remember, don't necessarily think literally. What mistakes have you made in your business that you've had to forgive yourself for? Have you ever done something you thought was a mistake that turned out better than you thought? What's one thing that can't be forgiven in your line of work? Do people make assumptions about your industry that you're happy to forgive them for? Ancestor Appreciation Day. This makes me think of history and the past. So talk about the history of your company or freelance business. How did you start doing what you do? What did people do before a service such as yours was around? How has your industry changed since you've been working in it? So, for example, when I started doing what I do, Google didn't even exist. What sort of things were accepted practice in the past in your industry that are now old hat or frowned upon? National Women's Health and Fitness Day. If you're a woman or write about health and fitness, this one's kind of easy, but let's presume you're not. Can you offer a business health and fitness test for potential clients, an audit, a review, a chat? Is your business a physically or mentally challenging one, or both? Why? How do you warm up to do your job? Like a runner doesn't just dive into running marathons. How do you warm up to do what you do? Which female business owners inspire you? Don't be patronising. No, seriously, write this one well or leave it alone. World Tourism Day. Most of you are UK-based businesses, but if you're not, relate this to the country you work in. If someone from another country who does the same job as you had your job for the day, what would they think? What are some very British things that happen in your job? It could be words, could be ways of working, could be idiosyncrasies. How do you do things differently to your overseas counterparts? Is there a marked difference? Could you do your job in any other country in the world? Have you? Tomorrow is National Good Neighbour Day. I don't know if you're friendly with your neighbours. I've lived here 10 years and I'm not sure I'd even recognise mine. But as we know, this isn't about neighbours. Has someone gone above and beyond for you? I've said this before, but shout about it on your social media and in your blog. They, in turn, will want to share it with their connections and more people will hear about you. What would you do if you were ill or had too much work? This is a great lead-in to talk about communities or networks that you're a part of, to show your customers or potential clients that there's always a backup plan. What businesses are adjacent to yours that you could talk about working with? Trainers, do you work with consultants and coaches? Copywriters, do you work alongside editors and proofreaders? Web designers, do you work with SEO people? Talk about those relationships. It might even lead to new ones. What about when things go wrong? Have you ever had a business relationship that went downhill? How did you deal with it? What did you learn? Social media isn't just about the good stuff. So there you go. That's 20 ideas, 4 for each of those, and none for National Corned Beef Hash Day. But I'm probably going to have corned beef hash for dinner, so that's a win for me, at least. I'm hoping this has started you out on looking at content in a slightly different way. So here are a few do's and don'ts. Do look at upcoming days and hashtags. There are so many of them, you can't fail to get an idea or two. Do let them spark ideas and give you things that you can relate to your business and services. And please, as we've already said, think differently. Don't think you have to be literal. National Ice Skating Day doesn't have to be about the time you went ice skating. Don't jump on every single day off. If you take it literally, you'll never have any time to do any work. And if you try to think too laterally every bloody time, you'll be mentally exhausted. Don't post for the sake of it. If it doesn't fit you or your business, leave it. It's not the end of the world. And I'm going to say this, and you're going to hear this a lot. Don't be wanky. In the live version of this presentation, I spoke about not using hashtags in your posts if you've taken the idea so far beyond what it started out as, but also don't jump on days, weeks, months off just because they're popular. Pride Month is another great example of if you can't do it well, don't do it at all. So there you go. In this video, I've given you 20 ideas from 5 days off. Please do share with me any ideas it gives you. And if you liked this, I would of course love it if you could mention it and tag me on social media. The next video is going to be about using the news to think of ideas for content. I hope you'll join me and I hope we'll have fun. Thanks. Bye.